choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing joy today. I'm choosing joy today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing joy today. I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing love today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing peace today. I'm choosing beauty today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing beauty today. I'm choosing peace today. I'm choosing peace today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing peace today. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today.
Yeah, nice job. But stay standing. We have one more for you. I am as God created me. A little different from last month, so it'll be easy. Here we go.
I am as God created me, in the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me, in the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. I am. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. I am. I am as God created me, in the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me, in the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. I am. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. I am.
Take some time to say hello to the people around you. Okay, let's break it down.
I am as God created me, in the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me, in the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. I am. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. I am. I am as God created me, in the light, in the love, in the glory. I am as God created me, in the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. I am. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. In the light, in the love, in the glory. I am.
Center. I'm Reverend Carla Sharadas, one of the staff ministers here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Capistrano Valley. And we thank you for bringing into our atmosphere of worship the gift of your presence here this morning. Well, it's July. You can feel it outside, can't you? It's definitely July. And each month we have a different theme. And this theme is practice makes imperfect. It's not what my mama taught me. Was it yours? But I know that Dr. Alice is going to open up the key to some revelation of inspiration for us and what that really is all about. And if you're here for the very first time, we'd like to welcome you. You can tell by our talk title today that we're a little bit quirky. We're all a little bit imperfect. We're a little bit nonconformist, but we are fantastic group of loving individuals, loving God individuals. So welcome home. We're going to get started this morning with our opening ceremony, lighting the flames of faith. We perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candles for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of peace and unity. We light the candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And as our practitioner Rick Dell lights the last candle, let it represent the path which brought you here this morning. We'll be taking 2 minutes of sacred silence.
And from that blessed silence, let's come home. That place deep within, in which the door is always open. And that door leads to the beloved. God is everywhere, out there, in here, before, beyond, infinite and eternal. This one has given us two great gifts. The first is life itself, because that life is God. And the second is the ability to choose what to do with that life. And we are given that full power and full knowledge and full wisdom of that infinite one that is with us always, that cannot be separated from us, nor we from it. And it is completely in love with us, because we are it. We are that voice of God. We are the eyes of God, the hands of God. And so our job here is to not be perfect, but to recognize the perfect in everyone and everything, even in ourselves. And that is what we are here for today, and that is what we are doing. So I give thanks for this. My heart is full. And with this grateful heart, I place these words into that which always says, yes, my beloved, this and infinitely more. And we say together, and so it is. I'm looking for a screen. Our global vision. We see a world that works for all, where people live according to spiritual truth and where unity and connection are emphasized, where people have enough food, homes, and a sense of belonging, and where there is peace, harmony, and justice for all. And now today's affirmation, read it like you mean it. I am a unique expression of God and a blessing to life, and so it is.
Thank you, Rick. That was beautiful. Our meditation this morning was on receiving and appreciating God's gifts. And we have one of the most amazing gifts from God. Our very own, our soloist this morning, and our very own Alan Dale. Please come up. Let's give him a big hand.
So about 21 years ago,
Give or take.
22 years ago, 21 years ago, we came out with our first album. And this is one of our old songs, and but it's always relevant. It's called Come On, Everybody.
Some people will tell you lies, stab you in the back or look in you in the eyes. The red falls on the just and the unjust, but who just stole my umbrella? Everybody wants a heart of gold. Everybody wants eternal soul. Everybody knows what we need to know. Come on, everybody, let it show. Well, some people will say it's on the outside. They tell you that beauty's only skin deep. But what you're looking at is what you're looking with. So if you love yourself, you love everybody. Everybody got a heart of gold. Everybody got eternal soul. Everybody got some pain and woe. Come on, everybody, let it go. You're perfect as you are. You're perfect as you are.
You never cease to amaze and surprise me. Thank you so much for the beautiful music you bring to our center. Let's give them another hand. Thank you. Oh, that's a little low. Let me see here. That's a little better. Wouldn't it be great if, like, on the award show, like, the thing just came up out of the stage? That would be fun. That would be fun. Grand Rising, everyone. My name is Reverend Dr. Alice Reid, and I am so happy to be here with you this morning. July, summer's here. We are embarking on I see all the sundresses out, and, we get all our summer clothes out, and it's really wonderful to have summer here with us. I appreciate it in this area. It's really much nicer than the East Coast. Sorry, friends back home. They're really suffering with some really extreme temperatures. Well, I have an announcement. Our website has been redesigned and has been relaunched, and so I invite you to check it out. It's www.cslcv.org. That's Center for Spiritual Living, Capistrano Valley. Yay! So now we can change the events easily. We can put things on the calendar. It'll be easier for you to figure out what's going on. And I want to thank Deb Foley and Mary Brogdon and Francie also, Kennedy, who helped with that. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's really wonderful. And I've seen a couple of mistakes on there already, so no worries. It's not perfect. Not perfect, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Please let us know if you notice some things. I know a couple of you who enjoy editing, and I'm sure we'll hear from you. Thank you very much. We are moving into this theme of practicing. What is it? Practicing. I have it here. The monthly theme is Practice Makes Imperfect. I wanted to get it right. I had a couple of different things going through my head, but it's Practice Makes Imperfect, which sounds a little discordant, doesn't it? Practice makes imperfect. That's not what we teach, as Reverend Carla was sharing with you. But I have to say, your treatment this morning, Rick, was pretty much my talk. But now you're going to get the long version. You're going to get the long version. Today we're talking about this idea that maybe perfection isn't the goal. Maybe it isn't the goal to make everything just right. Of course, I went to the dictionary, and perfection is defined as the condition, state, or quality of being free, or as free as possible from all flaws or defects. And as I look at that, I was tooling around. There are about 84 references to perfect in the Science of Mind textbook, in the concordance. And I was looking around to see what Dr. Holmes thought of perfection. I came across this quote: "We cannot afford to believe in imperfection for a single second. To do so is to doubt God." All right, so we're talking about the perfection of imperfection, and yet Holmes is telling us that we can't afford to acknowledge imperfection, that we can't believe in it, or we would doubt God. So what does Holmes mean by that? Does he mean that we should always move towards perfection and seek it in everything? We say the term whole, perfect, and complete a lot around here. I hear that in a lot of treatments and prayers, and it's certainly something that we talk about. But I'm thinking that Holmes was going a little deeper with that than face value when we look at that idea. I'm thinking that he's really talking about this idea that all life is perfect. So when you drive down the streets of LA and you see the dirt and the grime, when you see people living in tents under bridges, when you don't, when your month ends after your checkbook balance, and there's not enough money for all your bills, when that breakup happens that you weren't expecting, that there might be some perfection in that. Now that can seem a little dismissive if you're in the middle of pain or anguish or dealing with things that aren't feeling good in your life. But when I read this quote about we cannot afford to believe in imperfection for a single second, and to do so would doubt God, it occurs to me that as co-creators with God, when we see ourselves as imperfect, when we don't really love ourselves as we are, that we're creating doubt within ourselves and in our own ability to be that whole perfect and complete being, regardless of what's going on in our lives. And so I want you to think about that. I want you to think about those places where you might be doubting yourself. You might not be seeing the perfection in your life. You might not be seeing the perfection in you. I was reminded of a time I was maybe 6 years old, and I was doing a finger painting. And when you're 6 years old and you're doing art, it doesn't matter what you put on the paper. Everybody's gushing over it. They're loving it. And I did this finger painting, and I was so proud. And my father was like, "Yeah, that's really great, but maybe you should have used a little less blue. Maybe you could have used some more green." And it's such a silly little incident, but it stays in my mind as this place, this point where I began to doubt my own perfection, my own abilities, because it was a finger painting, for heaven's sakes. You're just glob paint on paper and moving around with your fingers, and then there it was. And I think that oftentimes as we're moving through life, we get that kind of response from people. "Yeah, that's really great, but..." And the thing that I know about perfection is that it's really relative. It's very relative. What's perfect to you in form, and is perfect to you in form, and what's perfect to me in form might be very different things. And so as we look at this idea of perfection, I want to share a reading. Richard Rohr and I are like this. And so when I prepare a talk, his morning meditations are often right in sync with what I do. If you're not familiar with Richard Rohr, he is the Franciscan monk who does a lot of meditations. He's written a lot of books. And I would call him a New Thought monk, because much of what he writes is very has a lot of cohesion to what we teach. And so this morning's meditation that came out, he writes, "The inner process of change and growth is fundamental to everything, even our bodies. Having undergone several surgeries, cancer, and a heart attack, I've been consoled by the way my body takes care of itself over time. In religion, however, many people prefer magical, external, one-time transactions instead of this universal pattern of growth and healing, which always includes loss and renewal. This is the way that life perpetuates itself in ever new forms through various changes that can feel like death. This pattern disappoints and scares most of us. Religions tend to idealize and project the status quo or the supposed wonderful past, yet what we now recognize is how they often focus on protecting their power and privilege. God does not need our protecting. We often worship old things as substitutes for eternal things. So he's talking about this idea of perpetual change and growth, that everything is always in motion, and that sometimes we can get fixated when it's sort of like trying to take a snapshot of your life and thinking it's all going to stay just like that, right? No, life is forever moving through us. The thing that's perfect, that's absolutely perfect, is that source is continually flowing into our lives, flowing through us, flowing as us, and flowing by us. There is a constant movement of perfection, of that thing that makes the grass grow. When we look at this idea of home saying we cannot afford to believe in imperfection for a single second, to do so is to doubt God, is it settling? Are you getting the depth of that simple sentence about how perfection is something that is so much deeper than getting all our ducks in the row? You know, my teacher used to say, if you get all your ducks in a row, you'll be a duck liner upper. That's what it'll get you, right? Because those ducks, oh, Pam can tell you all about ducks. Those ducks, they are in perpetual movement. They are always, it's kind of like a box full of puppies, right? They're climbing all over the box and out of the box, and you try to put them back in. Like, life is like that. Life is messy. Ask any mother of a 3-year-old. Ask any grandmother of a 3-year-old. And life is messy. It is in constant motion, like spirit. Constant motion through our experience. And I think this idea of perfection can feel like a little safe haven in a world that sometimes doesn't make sense. In a world that can be a little confusing. In a world where we are disheartened by things. In a world where there's discord, pain, and sorrow. Perfection can feel like a safe place for us to hang out if we can get everything just right. Like my house, I am forever, like I have these amazing house cleaners. And one of the things I believe that house cleaners do is they study the fine art of moving everything I own into a different place. I come home and it's not the way it was. Oh no, I've got to put it back where it was. If you haven't had the joy of having a housekeeper, believe me, it's wonderful to come home to a clean house, and it's also wonderful to clean before they get there and put it all back when they leave. The imperfections of life and messiness. Nothing stays the same. Things are always in perpetual motion. And sometimes when life is spinning and we're experiencing change, I like to think of it as a spiral. So sometimes it can look the same. The mess or the challenge that you had can kind of look the same. But indeed, it's different. But the truth is, it's not different. You're different. You're the one that's moving on the spiral and moving with life in a way that is constantly allowing Spirit to move through you. I was praying with my prayer partner this morning. I start every Sunday morning we talk at 6:30 and we pray together. And as we were praying, I had this image of Spirit as this constant stream, if you could picture it. And then humanity is as having its intentions and its desires, which are like the rocks in the stream that make the water go in different directions. And sometimes it's hard to see the pattern. Sometimes it's hard to see how all of this is going to make sense. There's a book that our practitioners are studying together by Emma Curtis Hopkins, and each month we read a chapter, and we're on chapter 7. And in this chapter, as I was reading it, I came across this quote, thinking about this idea of life that is in constant motion, and sometimes not the motion I thought I wanted. Emma Curtis Hopkins offers this solace. She says, if I were asked what was the quickest way for the practitioner of this silence to get the healing power going, and by that she means in alignment with spirit, I would probably say, praise everyone and everything in your mind and speak those praises aloud. I don't know, there's a couple of things that have happened the last couple of weeks. I'm not feeling like praising, right? There's a couple of things that happened last week that I am feeling like praising. And so when I read this, somehow it feels a little disingenuous, but I think it depends on how you're using that praise. Are you using that praise to pretend something isn't happening that you don't want to happen? Or are you really looking for that generative energy of praise so that, for instance, if you're challenged by what's been going on in our discordant nation and politics, what is it that you could, praise about that? I can praise the ability to think for myself. I can praise the willingness that I have to love the person and to let go of the opinion if it isn't something that is sitting right with me. I can praise the power of different ideas to make me think a little deeper, to make me question, to make me inquire, what is it that's really important to me? I can praise that when old ways of doing things fall apart and break down, it makes way for newness. I can find things to praise about that. I can take a minute and experience that generative power of praise to get my mind in a place that has me moving forward instead of sort of stuck in a little circle of, this is what I think. No, that's what you think. No, you need to think what I think. No, I need to think what you think. That's sort of the pattern that I'm seeing in our social discourse. It doesn't get us anywhere. But we have a teaching, we have a science, if you will, and it is this idea of finding something to praise, even the things that are difficult. This is advanced science of mind. This is the advanced practice of that, to find that place where we can tap into the ever-changing, ever-flowing spirit that is moving through everything. So Holmes wrote this as well. The Spirit has already ordained that nature will be perfect. It would be impossible for Spirit to ordain anything else, since in order to be at all, it must be perfect in its nature. God is will and God is representation. A perfect cause must produce a perfect effect. The normal functions of life are harmonious, but we interfere with these in our ignorance and thus bring discord into temporary being. There is a divine flow to life, and sometimes when we get too attached to the microcosm, we completely miss the macrocosm of what might be going on. We completely miss that there's change afoot, that evolution, which is the way that change happens, is the way that spirit moves through the creative process from cause into experience, from cause into effect, from cause into form. We have this amazing V, right, that we look at. It is our teaching symbol, and it talks about perfect God, perfect law, perfect experience. perfect human, perfect effect. I'm guessing I'm making you think a little bit here about the things that you're experiencing and how some of them could be perfect. And don't think for a minute that I'm suggesting that we dismiss injustices or dismiss pain and suffering. I am saying that we give power to the perfection of spirit as it moves into life and through life, and that everything we experience is temporary, and that that perfect causation, that perfect soul, that perfect God is forever bringing itself into form. And so if you don't like the form you're experiencing today, you can rail against it. You can fight it. You can argue with somebody about it. You can put a really nasty thing on Facebook. You can stop talking to people you love because they feel differently than you about politics. You can do all those things. Or I would like to suggest that you find a place where you can bring in some generative energy, some places where you can look at things a little differently, where you can shift your lens a little bit, where you can pause and begin to recognize the temporary nature of the discord and invest your energy in what it is you do want to create, what it is you do want to experience. I have this last quote from Brene Brown. You know, if you talk about, she wrote that great, I think it was one of her first books about imperfection. And she talks about perfectionism, but I think it fits in what we're talking about. She says, perfectionism is armor. And it is not the same thing as striving for excellence. And it's not about healthy achievement and growth. Perfectionism is a defensive move. It's the belief that if we do things perfectly and look perfect, we can minimize or avoid the pain of blame, judgment, and shame. Perfectionism is not the key to success. In fact, research shows that perfectionism hampers achievement. Perfectionism is correlated to depression, anxiety, addiction, and life paralysis or missed opportunities. The fear of failing, making mistakes, not meeting people's expectations, and being criticized keeps us outside of the arena where healthy competition and striving unfolds. Perfectionism is a 2-ton shield that we lug around thinking it will protect us, when in fact it's the thing that's really preventing us from being seen. The idea of perfect effect or perfect form can have us missing the bigger idea about what we mean when we say whole, perfect, and complete. We mean that there's an energetic source that is always giving us the opportunity to experience its perfection if we're willing, as Emerson said, to get our bloated nothingness out of the way, to see the perfection even in the brokenness, what we perceive as broken, to see the perfection in the things that we need fixing, that we deem need fixing, to see the perfection in the lost job or the lost sweetheart, to see the perfection in our loss. It's easy to see it when it's all going our way. But what I want to tell you is that we're going to be talking about this idea of perfection and what it means to be an evolving religious scientist, to what it means to practice this principle in a world of effects that on the surface don't look perfect, but indeed we have the opportunity to usher in the life force as it moves through us into creating that perfection relative to each other and relative to our community. So thank you for being willing to be imperfect with me this morning as we look at this topic and we begin to look at it. I trust that all week you will be looking at things a little differently. You'll look at that, when you drop a dozen eggs on the kitchen floor, that maybe you needed to take your time. Whatever it is that feels imperfect. There's something in it for you. Thank you very much. And so I'm going to invite our pianist up here, John Henry. Thank you. As I offer us this spiritual mind treatment to take us into this week, to take us into this month of the glory of the divine in all its imperfection and perfectness. So I invite you to close your eyes or lower your gaze and to take a deep breath. And in that deep breath, recognizing the opportunity to pause, to let go, to move our gaze inward to where perfection always starts. To allow ourselves to let go of the small ideas of perfection and instead to raise our awareness and our spiritual eyes, if you will, to the perfection of nature that is forever moving into and out of substance, into and out of substance in a perfect circulation. And so that I know that as each of us breathe, as we take a breath, we allow ourselves to be in complete concert with the movement of spirit. Knowing that this power and presence, this perfect source is always available to us to look up, to find that perfection in the seemingly unlovely, to find that place where we can be in agency, find that place where we can be a place for God to show up in the world around us. I trust that in this time of concern that each one is divinely imbued with the power and the presence of the one mind and the one heart to be the individuated and expressed experience of God in this world. And so I know that as we move through this week, we not only see the world through our human eyes, but we allow ourselves to see things a little differently, to pause, to inquire, what is it I'm meant to see in this? And to allow the love of God to be our guide, to allow ourselves to simply ask the question, what would love see in this moment? And so we just continue to breathe into this space of divinity and humanity that is our own body temples, that is our community, that is our city, that is our state and our nation and our world. It is all perfect in its own way, even in its imperfection. And so together we hold that dichotomy to be true. We allow ourselves to be present with it. We give gratitude for it. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you. And so now I want to bring back our wonderful, homegrown, amazing talent, Alan Dale.
Alice, your talk was our song. Go figure. You've all heard the saying, I'm sure, that the perfect is the enemy of the good. Yes. Well, I thought about it and I talked to God about it, and she told me, I'm the perfect and the good. And if you want to be happy, aim for the aim for the perfect, but don't expect it, and you will be good. And so here's a song called The Perfect and the Good. No two snowflakes are alike. They're all designed to fall against each other. They may strike as they answer gravity's call. But without exception and with perfect imperfection, they meet their destination, the perfect and the good. No two humans are the same, and yet we're all divine. We know each other by our name, not by our design. But without exception, and with perfect imperfection, we seek our destination, the perfect and the good. What's perfect for me isn't perfect for you, and what's perfect for you isn't perfect for me. But the perfect one is what we see when we accept each other's humanity. Nothing ever stays the same. Life changes constantly. Holding tight is a losing game. Let go, set yourself free. And without exception, and with perfect imperfection, we meet our destination, the perfect and the good, the perfect and the good, the perfect and the good.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let's give him another hand. So very blessed are we. We just like to take a moment and acknowledge all of our beautiful music maker masters, our band, our guest soloists today, and the songbirds. Let's not forget the songbirds who brighten up our whole sanctuary with their beautiful sunshine. Thank you so much. It is now time for our conscious giving. I'd like to invite our stewards to come up. Don't be shy, stewards. Look at that. our beautiful volunteers in action. We love you. This is our time of the service where we give back to what has nourished us, what has fed our souls, what continues to inspire us throughout the week. And I think the service absolutely has met that task today. So please give generously. And if you're watching us online this morning, your prompt is on the screen. You will go to www.cslcv.org. And please read with me our affirmation this morning. My offering is my acceptance of God as the source of my supply and symbolizes my faith in the abundant flow of this supply.
Show me the way. Show me the way. Your love will light the way. Show me the way. Show me the way. Your love will light the way. Show me the way. Show me the way. Your joy will light the way. Nam, 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 namaste. Nam, 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 namaste. Nama, 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 namaste. Nam, 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 namaste. Nam, 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 namaste. Nama, 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 namaste.
Blessed be these gifts of consciousness, knowing that there is a law of action of giving and receiving, knowing that these tithes go out and bless everyone they touch and are centered. Thank you. So it is. Do we have any guests here? Someone that's been here, that's here for the very first time? If you're here today for the first time, could you just raise your hand so we could acknowledge you? We have a gift to give you this morning. Any newcomers this morning? Right, thank you all for being here this morning. Aren't we blessed? And we would just like to take a few moments to acknowledge all of our beautiful volunteers. Did you see how we just jumped up on that? We have so much good in our center. Our volunteers are people that have been in service all week. And if you could just stand for a moment, including our practitioners and ministers, so we can just give you a moment of love. Thank you so much. Everything that happens in the background, and I'm telling you, it takes a lot, is done by these gorgeous, gorgeous individuals, and it means so much to us. And another set of volunteers that we have in our service are practitioners, prayer practitioners. Did you know they've been to school for years? Years and years, learning how to pray, how to develop consciousness, how to bring an energy of the divine that moves through each one of these practitioners so that you can see something different taking place in your lives. So if something's not going exactly the way you want, or you like it to just get a little bit better, please do see one of our practitioners this morning. They're going to be in the 2 back tables and also in our quiet room in the back. And our practitioners serving today are Rick Dell, Patrick Freeman, and Cheryl Lyman, who's been holding high watch. Let's give them a blessing and some love out there. And I'm going to invite Clark to come up and give us some announcements this morning. Come on up, Clark.
Thank you. So my dish this morning, in keeping with the spirit, was red, white, and blue stew. So I put it in my beautiful new red crock pot, and I got up this morning and I looked at it and it was way too watery. So I didn't know what to do. So I got out my magic Vitamix immersible blender and I made it into a much better consistency. But I had to change the name of the dish. It is now no longer red, white, and blue stew. It is now patriotic bean goo. So please have some back there. God, what a mess. Well, it was imperfect, but then I found the perfection, you see? Goes right along with the talk. There will be no meeting of conscious connection today because nobody's consciousness is really connecting. It's just a joke. Come on, calm down now. Calm down. Enjoy the potluck and especially patriotic bean goo, and stay for the healing sound bath at 12:30 with Tamzan and John Laurence. We have weekly yoga classes with instructor Mike Ward. The class is offered Monday evening from 6 to 7 p.m. and Tuesday morning from 10 to 11 a.m. Bring your yoga mat and come on down. Love offerings are most graciously accepted. This Tuesday night, we have another game night at 6 p.m., so come on down for some Mexican-trained dominoes and bring some refreshments to share, please. This Friday, July 12th, is movie night. The movie selection is Life of Pi. After the movie, Dr. Alice will lead a discussion of the metaphysical elements contained in the movie, and there are plenty. The second Friday in August, our movie night selection will be Doctor Strange. On Friday, August 30th, we're having the second annual talent showcase hosted by Reverend Karen Allen. That's not true. It's hosted by Rick Dale. Correct? Yeah. Oh, Mary, you got some splaining to do. Wednesdays with Mary is a book study from 9 to 10:30 a.m. on Zoom. The current book is entitled The God Theory by Bernard Hesch. Anyone can join at any time. Meditation group with Dr. Christian Steele, MD, meets Wednesday evenings. Please note the start time has changed from 6:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. Shifting Sands meets on Thursdays from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. This is in person and on Zoom. The support group with Joyce Fournier on Zoom meets on Friday mornings at 8 a.m. If you would like to have more information about these and other ongoing events, please check out this beautiful brochure in the lobby with a beautiful mandala on the cover, or read the newsletter sent electronically every Monday and Friday. So let's bring the songbirds back up to lead us in singing happy birthday to those folks who were born in July.
If that's you, please stand up.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Now, let's all stand and sing our closing song together. Thank you for this day.
you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for my life, Spirit. Thank you for my life. Thank you for my life, Spirit. Thank you for my life. My glorious, my glorious, my glorious life. My glorious, my glorious, my glorious life. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing
And know with me now that there is indeed perfection in the imperfection and the mess. And so it is.